Hello and welcome along to another episode of our weekly stadium review series, Review the 92. Myself and co-host Tom, each week we'll discuss one of the football grounds we visited together out of the 92 clubs and discuss our matchday experience and rank it in certain areas. I guess this is the first one we've recorded since our Charlton episode went absolutely nuts, so thank you for your support, and if you continue to enjoy them, please put a thumbs up on them, it is much appreciated. There's plenty of other content on the channel as well. But today, Tom, we are moving on to our next ground. And this one, we've got slightly better memories of than Crawley because we went a lot more recently. And that is to visit Crewe Alexandra in 2017 now, nearly 3 years ago. So I'll start, as always, by taking you through some of the key stats for the ground. So Gresty Road, as it's well known, but now the Alexandra Stadium, apparently, which we couldn't quite work out because there doesn't seem to be a sponsorship reason for it, is a ground with a capacity of 10,153. Its record attendance is 20,000 and it was built and opened in 1906. But again, has had a little bit of renovation and they have left the ground a couple of times during that period. They've also, and I know you like the little fun facts, on the 31st of May 2015, the ground held an international friendly between Northern Ireland and Qatar. There's one that you wouldn't have expected to hear. But there we go. So that is the ground itself. We went in 2017 to watch Crewe Alexandra v Luton Town. It was a cold November afternoon and it was the start of Luton's run towards promotion, which then became back-to-back promotions. Do you remember initially anything about the day in particular?
I think I've introduced every ground in this way. It was shortly after I moved up to Leeds. So it was another one of those.
It was the second one after Accrington, wasn't it?
Yeah. Was that continuing? We said October, so you were saying November. So yeah. I don't think we would have gone directly from Leeds. Did we go? Did I meet you there? Did we go to Manchester?
We went. Yeah, we stayed in Manchester at your other half's family home.
Parents, yeah. Okay, so it was Manchester. So again, convenient to get to.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember it being dark and gloomy. We weren't normally, as an away fan, you're stuck behind one of the goals, aren't you? But I think we were along the side of the pitch for this game.
We were near the front, prime halfway line, near enough.
Very good seat, very good position, yeah.
We got one of the biggest stands, didn't we? I know the biggest one was opposite us, the other side of the pitch, the main one with the tunnel and that. But we had the next biggest stand, Luton fans. And
I don't know if that's the norm for the away allocation, but yeah, just something a bit different. It's not what you expect as an away fan, is it? To get
absolutely not.
The side view of a pitch.
I guess you've led nicely on to the first point, which is atmosphere. We talked about the ground having a capacity just over 10,000. The attendance that day actually was only 4,571. Again, over 1,000 from Luton, which I guess a quarter of the attendance you'd probably expect. But Crewe, we have to bear in mind that season was struggling at that point. It wasn't like the last couple of years where they've done a bit better. And they were relying a lot on young players that were largely unheard of, although I guess, again, that isn't too new for Crewe Alexandra. But in terms of the game itself, I just vaguely remember it looking like men against boys. I mean, Luton only won 2-1 in the end, but I remember it being quite a comprehensive victory.
Did we squander some chances? Did Cornick go through and go and miss? Or
don't know.
Yeah, quite comfortable.
It was a late own goal from Johnny Mullins that gave him a glimmer of hope. But
right, so start with a good one. Yeah, I think going back in the atmosphere, was it? Did Luton, because we were so close to the players, obviously on that touchline, and was there like a throw-in? Was there like an incident that Luton fans started getting aggressive towards a Crewe player and start throwing things? Or
you're absolutely right.
Yeah, it was something. Go on, tell me what happened.
I'm glad you remember that. It was about by the halfway line again. A Crewe player went to take a throw in, and obviously, like most football fans, a couple of the Luton fans, shouted some form of expletive at them, and the Crewe player obviously made what you would deem to be probably the mistake of reacting, which led to a little flare up of the incident. Yeah, I just remember there being a little minor. I mean, it's nothing grand scheme of things, but it was a little minor incident. Yeah. It's a standout moment.
Yeah, funny what sticks in your mind, isn't it?
But other than that, I mean, in terms of atmosphere, I guess I've said this 2 or 3 times in this series. Probably the harshest critique I can give it is that I don't remember there being an atmosphere. And it's a really weird one, actually, because I went to watch Crewe away at Northampton this year, and the atmosphere in the away end was unbelievable from start to finish. There wasn't a huge number of them, but they were incredible. But at the home ground, I don't remember that at all.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't they flying quite high in
Yeah,
the?
it was a top of the table clash that
They're
game.
doing really well. So there's that, and away fans, I guess, are usually the most vocal and passionate support. So, but yeah, I don't really remember much of an atmosphere. I just remember was there unfortunate news about one of their scouts at the top, quite topical. One of the scouts had been involved in like child sex offence, and then like Luton fans are making like, a point and chanting about that, which is in poor taste as far as I'm concerned. And then that incident we just spoke about with the player. So that's the only thing that I can recall about the day. Really, yeah, there wasn't much of an atmosphere, and a gloomy November afternoon kind of dampens everyone's mood a little bit.
I completely agree. Obviously, as you say, the combination of Crewe struggling, I forgot even to mention that Crewe were in the headlines for all the wrong reasons at the time, for historical instances, which obviously then went on to affect lots of other clubs as well. It was probably never going to be a great atmosphere, I guess, which is fair. So I'm going to just do what I normally do, which is, because there was a bit from the away fans, I will give it the best of the worst, which is 5. And even that's pushing it.
Yeah, I'll go 5 as well, I think. Less than half full, and nothing to really remember apart from a few Luton fans singing silly songs. Yeah, so yeah, 5 seems fair.
But we understand the reasons, and after seeing their away following against Northampton, I would be more keen to go again. But that moves us on to location, and this is where the score, I would imagine, is going to go up very quickly. It is 0.2 miles from the train station and was a very short walk, which I am a big fan of. Definitely the shortest walk of the series so far.
Was that short?
Yeah.
I thought we were wandering around a little while around the streets of Crewe.
I tell you what happened with Crewe is we got off at the train station. We were there like 3 hours early. So we walked to the town centre to go to have lunch or something like that. So we walked like 15 minutes out of the way and then came back. But from the direct to the train station, like after the game, it was only 5-10 minutes.
Was it? So I don't really remember the walk after it. I just remember that I thought it was a lengthy walk. So yeah, I'm surprised that it's so close. So that's okay. I'll change my mind on it then. I was going to be quite critical, but there we go.
I always get it mixed up with Rochdale, which is the worst walk, which we'll come to later in the series, obviously. But yeah, for the Crewe one, I can't have any complaints apart from it being a bit rainy, which I can't rank it down for.
No, it's November in the northwest of England, so what do you expect?
I guess the only thing I was thinking as a counter argument is, with it being us having to go to the town centre, does that suggest there wasn't a great deal around the ground for location wise? Like we talk about lots of the ones on a terrace street with a chippy or whatever else.
Yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, it's what you want as a match going fan. Is it? Do you just want to turn up, have a drink on the train, have something to eat, go to the game, and go back? Then can't ask for more than that. It seems very convenient. But we're a bit boring, aren't we? You don't. You're basically teetotal. So we'd rather go for a nice Indian or Chinese before the game, and if that means going into the town centre, then that's our fault, really, isn't it? We've gone out of our way.
So for an away fan, I can't rank it down at all. And as you mentioned, after the game, we were on the train within 5-10 minutes, or at the train station. So for me, I have to give it an 8 at least, because I think in fact, no, I'm going to give it a 9. What more can you ask for?
Yeah, I was saying I feel as though I can't really give it a very high score because I don't remember how easy the walk was after the game, and I only really remember walking quite far beforehand, which does seem. It also seems unfair though, in the fact that it is so close to the train station, and we do always say we prefer, and we do travel by public transport to games, and so I'll give it a 7, maybe. I don't know what to give it.
7's all right. I don't mind that. If you'd gone lower, I probably would have told you off. To be honest, for me, if there was more stuff around the station to the ground, I probably would give it a 10. But
it's a very nice train station, though.
It was. It's a nice place, actually. It's quite nice.
I think it's known for its railway station, isn't it? Someone in the comments.
Oh, the railwaymen, aren't they?
Yeah, and it's like connects to Wales and all over the country, and it's really old, like Victorian, I think. So
yeah, it's a great station.
Yeah, proper station, isn't it?
Let's move on to value. So prices for the game, £18 adults. So probably, again, bearing in mind Luton, one of the bigger sides in the league, that's just towards the upper end of average for League Two. Yeah, and it is a nice ground, seated, covered.
No, that's respect. That's reasonable, respectable. Yeah, I'd take that.
I think there's not really much to say on that because it is just there's no standout. It's just a solid figure, it is a nice ground, so I've no problem with paying the top end of the average. Didn't get refreshments because, as we said, we went for lunch and that beforehand, but I'm happy to give it just a solid 7 out of 10. There's not really a great deal to be said on that one.
No, I'll stick with that. Short and sweet, 7.
Nice and easy. And then let's move on to character, the final one. So again, this ground, it's an old school one. We mentioned 1906. It's got all of the old school features we like. It's 4 stands, no corners. You can see bits in the background. It's in a fairly central location. I don't remember it having any outstanding features in the stadium itself, but I remember it being a well-polished, nice ground, and I thought, oh, I would have no problem coming back here again.
Sorry, my mind just... How old did you say the ground is?
1906.
And just over 10,000 capacity.
Oh,
so
yeah.
there's parallels here, similarities to Kenilworth Road, isn't there?
There is, apart from the fact they've got the one big modern stand, obviously, at Crewe opposite us, but...
As opposed to having boxes. So, yeah, I think I agree with what you say there. Like, it was 4 separate stands, has history. 10,000 is not tiny, but it's not big. It's quite. Great. But yeah, there's nothing. If I'm just trying to wrap my brain thinking, what did it look like? And I've not got a clear image in my head. Like, oh yeah, I remember. There's a statue outside, or there's the big clock, or there's something that you think that makes it stand out, and it's quite unique. Maybe it's lacking that. Would say that wow factor that you just think, I've never seen that in a ground before.
And we do have to say, in fairness, we may have just missed it because we are known. We weren't the most. That was, I guess, very early on, so it's not the most in-depth one. We wouldn't have necessarily gone around the ground going, oh, we're doing the 92 here at that point.
No, I'd say it was probably just around that time. I think we went to quite a few away games in the League 2 season, and we started getting a taste for it and thought we've probably done quite a lot of grounds. Let's try it, and then we kind of just developed into let's try and do the 92.
That's it.
So I'm annoyed that I've not actually got any photos on my phone of the games at Accrington and I've got Rochdale actually, so maybe Rochdale was the first one. I really
that was start of League One,
attention. Was that a year later? I was thinking it was the same month, so it's in the following autumn.
That's it.
Right. So yeah, I'm lacking a picture of Crewe. Our eyes weren't open, were we?
No.
We weren't paying attention.
So if we have missed anything, don't tell us off because that's probably the reason. In terms of character for the final score, I'm going to do the same again, which is my own system of the top I can give it without it having any exceptional features, which is a 7. Because it was a nice ground. It had a lot of the features you like in an old school non-league or lower league ground, but didn't have that one special wow factor for me.
I'll be slightly more harsh then. I'll be giving it a 6 today.
That's very harsh indeed. I look forward at the end of the series when we put all the scores in a line to see just how ridiculous these are because we haven't prepared them to match up against each other. We're just trying to do it by the week to make it as organic as possible, and we may want to change a few at the end, I think.
Yeah, you could say, so that's a good way of saying we're winging it episode to episode, and I'd like to see who's been the more lenient marker so far.
I think that is a fair point. I've just realised that I'll tell the viewers now as we're ending. Halfway through this episode, I had a Subway delivered, and I've left the bag in shop, which is great. So
did anyone spot the difference when that gets edited?
Yeah. At what minute and second did that come in? Thank you very much for watching this one. Let us know what you think of Crewe Alexandra. The overall scores will be at the bottom. Let us know if you visited on a summer's day and you got a chance to explore around the ground a bit more what's there. And any of the bits that we might have missed, because we weren't the most observant at that point, it is fair to say. If you did enjoy this video, please put a thumbs up on it. Let us know down in the comments what you think of our opinion, and subscribe to the channel for episodes from this series every week, as well as daily FM20 content. Thank you very much to my co-host Tom for joining me as always.
Cheers.
And hopefully we'll see you next time.